When I filmed all my Preptober videos for last year, I didn't have my NaNoWriMo mug yet, so it was too late, but now I do. Look, happy NaNoWriMo. It's got a little astronaut man on it. Okay, how to be an early bird for NaNoWriMo. So this is a little bit different. It's not about the craft of writing, it's about productivity and motivation surrounding writing, but I really find that how I start off my morning has a huge impact on my motivation and productivity for the whole rest of the day. So in some ways mornings are responsible for like a lot of my productivity in general. So because this is about productivity, it definitely applies to more than NaNoWriMo. It applies all year round, and it applies to more than writing. But I think NaNoWriMo is the last time that you want to have like a crisis of motivation or productivity, so I thought I'd do this for Preptober. And this is going to be helpful whether you want to wake up early and do your writing in the morning before starting your day, or if you want to just get up early and get shit done so that you can do your writing later and enjoy it. So for the last 5 months I have been self-employed, writing largely, working from home or cafes or libraries or wherever else I think is going to work that day. You might know that I have been funded by Creative Scotland, which is what is enabling me to do that at the moment. And working from home or working remotely can be absolutely amazing, but it can also make discipline and getting up in the morning specifically incredibly difficult, and I definitely found it incredibly difficult. So I went through a period of weeks where I was just super unmotivated. I was really struggling to get up in the morning. I would get sucked into Twitter in the morning and it would just like throw off the whole rest of my day. And it was just really starting to fuck up my routine, and it was really starting to get me down. I am like naturally a morning person. That doesn't mean I find it easy to do stuff in the morning, but I much prefer the energy in the morning, and I like to get stuff done early and then have just be able to chill out in the evening, and knowing that and then being unable to do that stuff in the morning was just driving me crazy, and it put me in a really shitty place. So eventually it got to the point where I was like, okay, enough of this. This is stupid. I'm wasting my time, and it's really frustrating me. So I went and did a lot of research, and I made a bunch of notes, and I formulated a plan. And in one day I implemented the plan, and I saw an incredible difference. So the tips that I'm going to share with you are basically from that plan. And like I said, in one day I saw a huge difference, but I've been using it for months now since then, and I still think all of these are really useful and they've been working for me. And no, it's not perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't get up every day and do everything that I am meant to do in the exact order that I'm meant to do it in, or anything like that, but it's certainly still a vast improvement from before. And like I said, it's had this kind of knock-on effect on the rest of my day, where I end up just having a lot more good days where I'm really excited and motivated and just have more energy and stuff for working on things than I did before. So if you follow me on Twitter, you might actually remember the time that this happened, and I did a thread about it. Here's the difference I saw in one day. Yesterday, woke up after 9, mucked around in bed on Twitter, floated about totally unmotivated, tried to force myself to work and couldn't focus. Today, got up at 7:30, did my stuff, got ready, cycled to the library and completed first writing session before 10:30, continued focus throughout the day. Number 1, the night before, try and eliminate distractions for through the night and in the morning. For me, this means putting on do not disturb mode on my phone so that I don't get notifications. Notifications they're so distracting to me, because if I see someone has commented on a video or has tweeted me something, then I want to read it right then and there, and it just like throws me off what I'm doing. So my promise to myself is to switch it off at night and not switch it on again until I've done my first writing session the next morning. If there are other things that you notice are distracting you, stopping you from sleeping or distracting you in the morning, then try and eliminate those the night before. Tip number 2 is the alarm trick, and you might have heard this one before, but it's super effective, and that is the night before I set my alarm, mine is for 7:30 usually, and I put it across the room so I can't touch it from bed. I have to get up. This has been one of my absolute lifesavers, and it means that in the morning when it goes off, I have to get out of bed to go and switch my alarm off. And my promise to myself is that I don't go back to bed after that. So that's the night before. Now let's talk about the morning itself. Tip number 3, be ruthless about being a morning monk. For me, this is twofold, and I have to be really strict with myself about it. And it means 1, no snoozing, and 2, no social media in the morning. The no snoozing thing is about, like, when you set your alarm, you should be committing to getting up at that time. I have stopped setting multiple alarms, and I've stopped giving myself like snooze periods and stuff. Unless something has changed during the night, like I've had a terrible night's sleep, or someone has called me to say that I don't need to go into work, whatever that would be. Like, I'm still getting up at 7:30, nothing has changed, and so you don't get to snooze. I don't let myself switch off Do Not Disturb on my phone, so I don't allow notifications back in, and I do not let myself check Twitter or social media or something in the morning. So you might think that no snoozing and no social media is a bit harsh, it's a bit no tolerance, but hear me out for a second. You might really enjoy a snooze and checking your social media in the morning, and I certainly did. That's why I resisted making this change for so long, but I really think that you should give it a try. So I got into the habit of checking my social media in the morning back when I was working a coffee job, and I used to have to get up like before dawn in winter. I used to give myself 10 minutes on Twitter in bed to wake myself up before getting out of bed. And that worked fine in that situation. But what I didn't realise was that this only worked because I had an external deadline. I had an external pressure forcing me to get out of bed and go to work, otherwise my boss was going to yell at me. When I didn't have that anymore, so when I became self-employed, when I was working from home and stuff, checking social media became my downfall. It's very easy to justify it in ways like this, like, oh, it helps me wake up or whatever. But really, I found that getting up and just starting to do my makeup and stuff in the morning anyway wakes me up just as fast as being on social media. And this is a temptation that I have to like punch in the face every day still, but now that I've been doing it for a while, I value the peace of mind and stuff I get in the morning when I don't check social media so much more. Like, it's never worth what I lose in the morning to just give in to that temptation and just be like, oh, I'll just check Twitter for a minute, because it's never a minute. It's never a minute. It just totally throws me off my game, and it like gets me distracted by all these different things, these million different things that people are talking about that aren't the work that I need to get done right now. And so even if you do have external pressures, as most people do, forcing you to get out of bed because you have to get to a job or a place or school or study or whatever, I really recommend trying to avoid like addictive things like social media in the morning. As for snoozing, again, I resisted this for a long time, but I have come to realise that snoozing doesn't do you any favours. It's just kind of a weird limbo in between time in which you don't get proper sleep, but you're also not properly awake and being productive or doing stuff. And I have just decided to eliminate it altogether. The only time that I let myself break these rules is if I'm having a day off and I'm giving myself a lie-in, like specifically as a gift to myself, as a bit of self-care or something. And those days I actually do really enjoy it. I really like to wake up late and like watch something on Netflix or whatever in bed. But my rule to myself is if it's a work day, then I don't lie in, I don't check social media, I don't snooze. So tip number 4 is you've gotten out of bed, you switched off your alarm, do not go back to your bed, do not climb back into its warm embrace, make your bed immediately as soon as you stand up. Just make it, just doesn't have to be fancy, you don't have to cover it in cushions, but just make your bed, and it's the best way to stop yourself going back to it. It means you can lay down your clothes on it if you're trying to decide what to wear. It's another lifesaver, so do it. So tip number 5 is to do something nice in the morning. You're never going to look forward to the morning. In fact, you're going to dread it if it's only full of like, oh, I have to do this, and then I have to do that, and then I have to do this. Like, put something in there that you look forward to. So this might be watching a YouTube video while you have your breakfast, it might be reading 10 minutes of a book, it might be taking a walk with a podcast. It doesn't have to be time consuming. For me personally, and I haven't been as good at doing this recently, but I've also been more motivated, so I haven't needed the kind of crutch of it, I guess, recently, was grinding and brewing coffee for me and Ross. I found that really motivating because Ross will drink any kind of coffee, even though he likes good coffee, and I'm always like, how can you live with me and drink bad coffee? Why would you do that? Like, we've got all the equipment and stuff, but Ross doesn't want to grind stuff and that in the morning because he can't be bothered. So I was like, I'm gonna get up early and I'm gonna do it for both of us, because I don't drink ever a whole coffee anyway, so there's no point in me making one for myself, so make it for the two of us. It's like a nice thing. We get to see each other in the morning and I get to send Ross off to work with like nice coffee. So I found that super motivating, and it really helped me like want to get up in the morning. It sounds quite silly. I also like to have breakfast. I love reading one of Chuck Wendig's blog posts or pieces from one of his books. I try and just stick to one, again, no addictive things in the morning, but I find they really get me in the mood for writing if that is what I'm going to do that day. Maybe you just really want to go and get a Starbucks coffee in the morning before work. Like, if that motivates you and it makes your morning feel nice and feel like a little bit of self-care, then it's probably worth the however much it is for a coffee to do that a few times a week, because of the impacts they'll have on your day. So like, try and let yourself be nice to yourself in the morning, but not in the way where it's like just letting yourself do nothing. Tip number 6 is to know what you need to do in the morning and to try and get it done as soon as possible. If you need to make a list the night before of the things you absolutely need to do, I definitely recommend doing that. I do it quite a lot. I find having that purpose and knowing exactly what you need to do is absolutely invaluable. There's nothing that gets me off to a worse start in the morning than waking up and being like, what am I doing again? And trying to like make decisions and stuff. Try and make those the night before. So for me, this is stuff like getting changed, doing my hair, doing my makeup, taking the dog out, having breakfast. There is probably an order in which to do these kind of like boring morning chore things, which is the most efficient for you. If you can try and find that, then do it. But yeah, just get them over with. Just do it really fast before you even have a chance to think about it, and like get yourself set up for the day. And lastly, tip number 7 is to tackle the hardest or most important thing first. So you've done the things you need to do, you've probably done something nice for yourself, now you're ready to sort of tackle the day. I find it's helpful to remember that you have like a finite amount of mental energy to use in a day. For me personally as well, like I have the most energy in the morning and it only goes downhill over the day. I just get more and more tired. So I don't want to try and do the most important work, like writing, late in the day when I'm already tired from doing all the other stuff. I want to start with writing when my brain is at its freshest. That makes it sound like it goes moldy later on, which is kind of gross. But you kind of get what I mean, right? Like, your brain is not a ghost, it is real. Yeah, your brain isn't a ghost. It requires physical fuel to process things, to work, to write, to do anything. And it does tire over the course of the day. So, if possible, try and tackle, yeah, like I said, the most important, the most difficult things in the morning and move on to the easier things as you go on. Okay, those are all my tips. So like I said, in one day I created this plan and I implemented it and I saw a huge difference. So here's how I felt that second day after doing all these things. I had no immediate depressing punch in the gut from Twitter. I love Twitter, but it's hella depressing these days. It's full of politics and the world burning and all sorts, so it's really not the best thing to get you started in the morning. Even when I did check it later on, I also found that I got kind of like less fixated or addicted or checked it less obsessively and stuff during the rest of the day if I didn't do it in the morning, which is good. I got a nice sense of satisfaction from grinding my coffee and doing it in the morning, and actually being up early enough to see Ross in the morning and see him off. I had way more energy and had a really clear purpose of, what I'm meant to be doing next. One of the best things was that I had almost no mental resistance to just getting things done. Like, do you know that feeling where you know everything that you should get done, but your brain is just like, no? Why would I do any of that? That sounds awful. Don't do that. That was like the defining feature of those weeks before I made these changes. And having a good morning totally eliminates that for me, which is such a relief. That day I achieved easily twice as much as the day before and I didn't feel any more tired. And I was proud of my little self. Okay, So that's the end of this video. As always, I'm Rachel Stephen, novelist, YouTuber, Woodland Hellbitch, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, you should probably subscribe, because that's the best way to do that. This video is part of a series that I am doing for Preptober, which is a NaNoWriMo prep project that runs in October, and we have lots of really helpful resources and stuff if you are gearing up for NaNoWriMo yourself. So go and check us out on Twitter, that's where we have all the good chat. And the best way to make sure that you don't miss any resources or videos or wallpapers or printables is to sign up to the email list, because things kind of get lost very easily on social media. We all follow lots of different things, so email is the best way to do that. Happy noveling, take care, I'll see you soon. If you want to... Oh, you watch it. Watch it, pal. That... Oh my god. Snooze. You stop pushing my laptop away with your little paw. Or wherever I think. Bork. Alfie, that's so close to my fucking tea. That's not a good plan. Lie down. Oh no. Do I try just giving her a bone? I should just give her a sedative. Every time I film a video, I'll just give Alfie a general anesthetic. I had a point and I'm just like dancing around it and just like doing a weird... Give me a second. Oh, I took chocolate through. I don't know what I'm saying. If I can't have chocolate while I'm doing these videos, then like, what are we doing here?